What if one military operation in the Middle East could completely reshape global power politics? What if that operation didn't just target a regional rival, but quietly threatened the strategic? Today, we are breaking down a real geopolitical scenario based on publicly reported developments by international media about how escalating tensions in the Middle East could directly impact Russia's long-term strategy and why some analysts call this Putin's worst nightmare. This is not speculation. This analysis is based on reports and coverage from outlets such as BBC News, Al Jazeera, Reuters, and Fox News. Let's begin. Part 1, Russia's deep roots in the Middle East. To understand why a Middle East operation could worry Moscow, we first need to understand Russia's role in the region. Russia is not just watching events unfold in the Middle East, it is deeply involved, especially in Syria. Since 2015, Russia has supported the Syrian government led by Bashar al-Assad during the Syrian civil war. According to BBC and Reuters archives, Russia's military intervention helped Assad regain significant territory. Russia established long-term military facilities in Syria, including its naval base in Tartus, Russia's only warm-water naval base outside the former Soviet Union. Why is this important? Because the Middle East gives Russia military access to the Mediterranean, strategic leverage against NATO, influence over regional energy routes, diplomatic bargaining power. Now imagine if a major regional operation disrupted that balance. That's where things get serious. Part 2, rising Israel-Iran tensions, one of the most dangerous fault lines in the Middle East. Today is the ongoing shadow conflict between Israel and Iran. Over the past several years, international outlets including Reuters and Al Jazeera have reported Israeli airstrikes targeting Iranian-linked positions in Syria, Iranian-backed groups expanding regional influence, escalations involving regional militias. If a large-scale operation were to occur, whether direct, confrontation, or expanded regional strikes, Syria could once again become a battlefield. And here's the key point. Russia has troops and assets in Syria. Any instability risks, Russian military exposure, diplomatic embarrassment, strategic losses. Russia has tried to maintain working relations with both Israel and Iran. But a major conflict forces choices, and choices create risks. Part 3, the energy chessboard. Another major concern for Moscow is energy. Russia is one of the world's largest oil and gas exporters. After Western sanctions following the Ukraine war, Russia increasingly relied on energy partnerships outside Europe. The Middle East is central to global oil markets. If a major regional operation disrupts oil supplies, oil prices could spike dramatically. Global markets could destabilize. New alliances may form. At first glance, high oil prices might benefit Russia financially, but long-term instability could accelerate Western energy independence, strengthen alternative supply routes, increase geopolitical pressure on Moscow. According to Reuters economic analysis, energy volatility often creates unpredictable consequences, not guaranteed benefits. So for Putin, chaos is not always profit. Part 4, the strategic nightmare scenario. Now let's examine what some geopolitical analysts describe as the nightmare scenario for Moscow. Imagine this sequence. A major regional military operation erupts. Iran becomes directly involved. Syria becomes unstable again. Russian military assets face increased risk. Western powers increase diplomatic and military presence in the region. If that happens, Russia could face loss of regional leverage, military overstretch, reduced influence over Syrian policy, increased NATO involvement near Russian assets. This is particularly sensitive because Russia is already heavily engaged in Ukraine. Opening another indirect front, even diplomatically, stretches resources. That doesn't mean Russia wants conflict. In fact, public statements from Russian officials, reported by major news agencies, consistently call for restraint and de-escalation in the region. Part 5, diplomacy behind the scenes. Russia has positioned itself as a mediator in Middle East affairs. It maintains relations with Israel, strategic partnership with Iran, support for Syria, dialogue with Gulf states. This balancing act gives Moscow influence, but a major operation that forces sides to fully commit could collapse that balance. That's why analysts frequently note Russia benefits from controlled tension, not uncontrolled war.